waiting and waiting to see what happens there before other teams revert to second tier, number 2, number 3 starters versus that number 1 in Madison Bumgarner. Sellers in the National League, Pittsburgh, Vasquez, where does he go? We've talked about it. We'll talk about it some more in just a few moments. Let's talk about the American League standings. The Yankees winning at Minnesota again last night. These are some incredible games going on in the Twin Cities between the first place Twins leading the Central now by only 2 games and the first place Yankees leading the American League East this morning by 10 games over Tampa and by 11 games over Boston. Shall we look at that Yankee game from last night for just a moment as we delve through and scheme through the box score? LeMahieu 1 for 4, Judge 2 for 5, Hicks 2 for 5, Encarnacion 2 for 5, Gregorius, talking about hot, 10 RBIs in his last 2 games. Didi has raised his average to 293, going 3 for 5 last night. Hicks hit his 12th homer of Odorizzi. Torres is 20th. Torres went 1 for 4, 2 runs scored. Encarnacion hit his 30th. He hit a 9th inning homer off of Smeltzer. And what about this kid Tauchman playing left field? Brett Gardner has not played 4 games in a row. I don't know how hurt he is. I think it's more Tauchman is hot right now. And you're going to see more of Tauchman as we go forward, in my opinion. Today, the Yankees are playing Boston. And nothing brings out, in Fenway Park in Boston, okay? And it's Tanaka and Porcello. Porcello, a right-hander. You're going to see Tauchman again today. He's raised his average to 275. He doubled, he tripled yesterday. And the thing about these Yankees, you talk about a resilient kind of team. One player goes out, another player rises up. That's the kind of year they have. They remind me a lot of the season that Boston had last year. Minnesota, Cruz goes 2 for 4. Rosario, 2 for 4. Rosario, his 22nd homer, hit a first inning homer off of J. Happ with 2 out. Gonzalez homered in the 4th inning off Happ. Cruz homered his 22nd in the 5th inning off Cortez Jr. Pitching-wise, well, not a lot to shout about here. Happ gave up 6 earned runs for the Yankees in 3 1/3. Odorizzi was worse. In fact, Odorizzi was horrible. 4 innings pitched, 9 earned runs. He did strike out 7, but in 4 innings he gave up 10 hits, struck out 7, walked 2, 2 home runs. Early season success has turned into mid-season woe for Jake Odorizzi. Yankees win, 10-7. Tampa playing Boston. Pitching kind of duel, man. If you love pitching, you love this game yesterday in Tampa. The Rays had lost the first 2 games of the series to the Red Sox. It was David Price. It was Morton. Morton goes 7, picks up his 12th win of the year, 11 strikeouts against no walks. David Price pitched well, 6 innings, 3 earned, 8 strikeouts. But it was a home run by Tommy Pham in the 4th. And it was a double by Heredia that proved to be the go-ahead game winner. Wendell went 2 for 3 yesterday. Pham homered, as I said. That was his 16th of the year. For the Red Sox, Devers, he continues to hit. Drove in 2 more runs. JD went 2 for 4. You know, I think the key to the hitting for the Red Sox, remember last year how Mookie Betts was hitting, 335, 340, and this year he's at 280? That right there is a good indication and illustration of what's wrong with the Red Sox. Last year, they overperformed, and this year, they are underperforming. They lose yesterday to Tampa, 3-2. They play the Yankees tonight at home. Tampa is off today. They will start a series tomorrow for the weekend at Rogers Center in Toronto, Canada. In the Central, I just told you the Twins now lead the division by only 2 games. And why is that? Well, I just told you the Twins lost. And while the Twins were losing, Shane Bieber did something last night that no other pitcher has done in Major League Baseball this year. And I'll go ahead and tell you without having to make you dig it up. He has now thrown multiple shutouts this year. 9 innings last night. Check out this line. 9 innings pitched, 1 hit. That 1 hit was Eric Sogard. It was a double, his 17th. Only 1 hit surrendered, only 1 walk. Bieber struck out 10. He only threw 102 pitches. And he outdueled Marcus Stroman, who fell to 6-11. Stroman pitched 7 strong innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 6 strikeouts. But it wasn't good enough. And we look at the batting for Cleveland, only 9 hits. Allen got 3. Bowers got a single. Lindor got a hit. Plawecki doubled. Jose Ramirez at 236. 2 for 4 last night for the Tribe. Cleveland now at 59-42. Again, 2 games out. Cleveland goes to Kansas City. They play at the Royals today, while Minnesota travels to Chicago, and they play today against the White Sox. Keep your eye on that one. I still think Cleveland wins that division. I really do. I just think Minnesota's kind of like, in basketball, you play well enough just trying to hang on. They're trying to hang on. The problem is there's 60 games left in the season. It's not like you got 3 or 4 games left during the last week. Come on. Minnesota's pitching is not good. They've shown that against the Yankees. Now, I know they're playing the Yankees, arguably one of the best, if not the best team in the American League. But still, when you give up 14 runs one night and 10 runs the next night, you're not going to win many games when your pitchers can't keep you in the game. And that's what's going on in Minnesota. Let's see how they perform this weekend against the White Sox. I'm going to predict not well. I'm going to make a prediction right now that when we talk again on Monday morning, Cleveland is in first place in the American League Central. There you go. You heard it from me. Lenny, you and Andre are driving in the car. You're listening, and you can say, well, Arnie said it. Monday morning when I talk to you again, I predict Cleveland is in first place in the American League Central Division. Houston, a 7.5 game lead. They continue to roll. Beat Oakland 4-2. Now, it wasn't a good day for some of my fantasy players in that game because I'm a big Jordan Alvarez owner and I'm a Michael Brantley owner. And, 0 for 7 combined yesterday. But Springer homers, his 23rd off the 3rd inning off Bassett. Altuve homers in his 15th in the 5th inning off Bassett. Altuve went 3 for 4. His average is now up to 287. He has been hot this month. And with Altuve hitting at the top of that order, and knock on the door, we know somebody's coming off the IL tomorrow. Carlos Correa will be back. Since the All-Star break, Altuve, a .379 average, 5 home runs, 5 doubles. That's over 13 games since the All-Star break. I told you, he's been smoking it since the All-Star break. And here's the only question for Houston, and that is with Correa coming back. Look at that batting order. Oh, my God. Okay, let's slot Correa back into the order where he was when he went out, which was batting 5th. Remember, he and Brantley switched off 4th and 5th depending on if it was a left or right-handed starter. So you got Springer, Altuve, Bregman, Brantley, Correa, Alvarez hitting 6th. Gurriel hitting 7th. Are you kidding me? I mean, do the rich not get richer? Alvarez hitting 320. Gurriel hitting 294. Yuli has just been having his career year. 294, 20 homers, 65 RBIs, 58 runs scored. I'm looking at his last 6 games. He's got hits in all of them and 4 home runs over his last 6 games. And can you imagine that guy batting 7th in your batting order? Woohoo! How'd you like to be on that team? Let's look at the Oakland 7.5 out behind Houston. Of course, they lose. The Angels winning at L.A. against the Dodgers. They're 11.5 out in the division. The Angels have won 4 in a row. Did you hear me? The Angels have won 4 in a row. I got my eye on them. You better keep your eye on them. Wild card, Cleveland leads the wild card by 2 games now over Oakland. Oakland leads the second wild card by a game over Tampa, 2 games over Boston, 4 games over the Angels. And those are your playoff teams right now. So you got Texas, who's going to be dealing. They're going to be dealing Minor. Minor did not pitch well. You say, well, how well did he pitch? Let's take a look. And he's the talk of trade talks. But he went 6 innings and gave up 4 earned, struck out only 5. He's given up 4 earned runs in his last 3 starts, covering 6 innings, 7 innings, and 5 innings. Before that, on July 2nd, the game before the All-Star break, 4 1/3, and gave up 3 earned. I'm not big on Minor. I think it's fool's gold. Another pitcher that I read about, speaking of, I guess you got fool's gold and fool gold too, right? You got Lance Lynn. Okay, he's pitched well, 12-6,